Hello everybody and welcome back to the Real Miami FC 26 career mode. In this series, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has created his own MLS team to take on David Beckham and lay the smackdown on Inter Miami. And speaking of Inter Miami, we did have our first Miami derby in the previous episode. Go check that out if you haven't already. Spoiler warning in 3, 2, 1... We ended up sharing the points after a 2-2 draw. We were 2-0 down though. 2 goals from Cristiano Ronaldo rescued a point for us. But in today's episode, we will be playing the first Miami derby at our home stadium, the Brahma Bowl. So hopefully we can get our first victory over Inter. We also have another Florida derby taking on Orlando City. That will be away from home. And as you can see there, they are right behind us in the table. So 2 very big games to get into in this episode. But before then, we do have highlights of a few games, so without further ado, let's get into those. We kick things off in this episode with the game against New England Revolution, and Cristiano Ronaldo should have had a hat-trick in the first half alone. Honestly, the amount of chances that he missed in this game was super frustrating. This was the first opportunity of the game itself. A left-footed strike beat Turner, the former Arsenal and Nottingham Forest goalkeeper, but the post stopped it from going into the back of the net. And then in typical Real Miami fashion, we went 1-0 down here in a home game. It seems to happen every time we bloody play at this stadium. Really good finish there, not the best defending, and we did trail by a 1-0. And only a few minutes after that, Cristiano Ronaldo with a really good opportunity here again. Another left-footed strike. I thought for a second it was going right into that top corner. But once again, he beat the keeper and also beat the post. But you can't keep a great footballer down because Cristiano Ronaldo did eventually get the equaliser. Huge gap to run into, and he was never going to miss that opportunity. 1-1 going into the halftime break. Christian Wood then scored just his 4th goal of the season here. I put so much more power behind that strike, but he basically passed it into that bottom corner, and it did give us the lead here. He did play quite well in this game, Wood, but I'm still kind of in 2 minds about him. It's going to take so long to train him to become a left winger. I know I've said this before, and we can kind of do with the money at the moment, so I'm still in a position where if I get a decent offer for Wood, I will entertain it, to be completely honest with you. But thankfully, he was on form in this game, and not only did he put us 2-1 up, he also put us 3-1 up with 10 minutes to go. And once again, I put a lot more power behind this strike than what it would suggest, but it's a really good finish, a 3-1 win here to kick off the episode, and hopefully we can keep this great form going into both the derbies that we'll be playing in the feature games in this episode. We travel to Houston. Let's hope we don't have a problem here as we take on Houston Dynamo. They are one of the worst performing teams in the Western Conference at the moment, so I'm going to risk it and give this one a quick sim. Can we get the 3 points here? Yes, we do. Wood with the only goal of the game. He's either playing really well because he wants to stay at Real Miami, or he's putting himself in the shop window and is trying to get the best move possible. But look, I don't really care once he's playing well whilst he's here, and he gets the only goal of this game. Should have been 2-0. Ronaldo with a missed penalty, I think that icon is. But listen, we get the win, and that's the most important thing. FC Cincinnati are the next opponent for us here at the Brahma Bowl. Shout out to Jared HD, of course a big FC Cincinnati fan, and also of course Celentano. We actually signed from FC Cincinnati in this series, and I tell you what, he has been a fantastic signing for us so far. For the first time in this series as well, I'm actually going to use the highlights feature to play a game. I know sometimes people get confused when I talk about showing the highlights of the game we've just played and me actually playing the highlights feature itself. So yeah, I'll try and come up with different terminology to differentiate between those, but we'll actually be playing the highlights feature of this game. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. And the first highlight of the game is actually our first penalty here of the series. Of course, it's none other than Cristiano Ronaldo to take it. What can he do here? Come on, Cristiano. Doesn't miss many. And he doesn't miss this one. He puts it right into the top corner. Keeper goes the wrong way. And we take the lead here against FC Cincy. They get the next highlight though. Here's Denki, who if he was a bit quicker might have had a one-on-one there. Good interception there by Riley. And they are given a one-on-one this time, and Denki does a lot better. He gets the best of Miller. Can Celentano keep it out? Yes, he can. Brilliant save from the former Cincinnati goalkeeper. And we get the next attack here. We're already in the second half. Zendejas will get on the ball here. Ronaldo will make the run, but unfortunately he can't find him. Just over 15 minutes to go. Ronaldo again. His penalty, the only goal of the game so far, but his 25th MLS goal of the season is surely enough to wrap up the 3 points here at the Brahma Bowl. And indeed it was a clean sheet and a victory here against third place in the Eastern Conference. A massive, massive 3 points for us. And yeah, we actually did get the majority of the highlights in this game. I was very intrigued to see how the balance of play was going to go, because I do find when you use a better team, you are more likely to get more of the highlights. And I felt like we were quite evenly matched in terms of the overall rating of the team between ourselves and FC Cincy. But of course, when you have the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo in the team, you're probably going to get 1 or 2 more chances than the opposition. One more game to go before the first Miami derby at the Brahma Bowl, and it's up against bottom of the Eastern Conference New York City FC, who we have already beaten once in this series, albeit against the run of play. And yeah, it felt like Toronto FC were never going to move out of the bottom of the table, so yeah, I'm sure they're happy that there's somebody doing a little bit worse than them. But we're going to quick sim this game. Let's hope we can get the 3 points here. And yes, we do. Cristiano Ronaldo and Vecino with the goals. New York City did take the lead in the game, but thankfully we were able to turn it around. We have officially entered the summer transfer window here in this career mode, and there actually is a couple of departures I do need to talk about as well. The first one here, Julio Roman, 72 rated left back. He has joined Al Nassr for $3.9 million. He was a decent backup, nowhere near as good as Lewis, despite being a similar rating, so I'm not that disappointed that we've actually been able to move him on. From selling a left back to selling a right back, Solomon Young, the man from Trinidad and Tobago, has joined LAFC for just under $2 million. And what's crazy about this is that he only had 6 months remaining on his contract, or at least he would have, at the start of the summer transfer window. So if LAFC had actually waited, they would have been able to pick him up on a free transfer. And not only did we get to sell him for money, we also got to get him for just above his value. So yeah, I'm not going to complain about that. I thought he might have been a decent backup for a Solomon Young, but after signing Bellerin and Hwang, he was never going to get a chance in this team, let's be honest. I actually managed to call up a few youth academy players who didn't have the best potential, and I was able to actually sell a few of them on, which was quite handy. There's too many to mention, to be honest, so I won't go through all of them, but I will mention the sale of this man right here, who's not a youth academy player, but I thought it was still worth mentioning. Hugo Rivas, a backup centre-back who didn't really play all that much, 31 years old, and we were able to sell him to Philadelphia Union for just under $1 million. And after all those player sales, we are left with just over $8 million in the transfer budget, which, to be honest, lads, isn't enough to do the business that I want to do. Of course, we have spoken recently about bringing in some of Cristiano Ronaldo's ex-teammates. Luka Modric is the one that I really want. I just had a look at his value. He's worth between 12 million and 16 million. And I did actually try and put in a cheeky offer, but they wanted way too much money. So we'll try and raise as much money as we can in this transfer window, and we'll do our best to bring in the Croatian midfielder. Just days before the second Miami derby of the series, Inter have paid the release clause of our third choice goalkeeper, Larry Jackson. Now, whilst he mightn't be a big loss for us, Inter Miami's goalkeeping options aren't actually that great, so I do think he probably will go right in between the sticks if this deal goes through. And if it goes through on time, he'll probably be making his debut against us. I tell you what, if this keeps happening, I am going to have to steal one of their players. This is the second time they've done it to us, so you can't call it unrealistic or unfair if I do go in and try and sign an Inter Miami player at some stage in this series. The Larry Jackson deal did not go through on time, so we won't be coming up against our former backup goalkeeper, but we will be coming up against Inter Miami for the second time in this series. And of course, the first time here at the Brahma Bowl as well. And you might be wondering how Inter Miami are doing this season, at this moment in time at least. They are in 9th position. They are not having a grand old time so far. They are really, really struggling. And you think of some of the players they have. Obviously, of course, Messi, Suarez, De Paul, Busquets, Alba's there as well. How are they struggling this much? They are really doing diabolical. But of course, we've seen it so many times in so many different derbies. Form does go out the window a lot of the time in these games. So despite the fact that we're quite far ahead of them, I won't be taking them lightly. And of course, we did play them in the last episode, as I mentioned earlier, and we did have to come from 2-0 down to rescue a 2-2 draw. So hopefully here, we'll be able to get our first 3 points against David Beckham and co. And hopefully for once, we might be able to go 1-0 up in a home game. That's not a highlights game. Here's Cristiano Ronaldo being pushed back. He, of course, did score both the goals at the Inter Miami Stadium. Here's Dexter Morgan, who's had a bit of a quiet episode so far. And he gives away the ball there to Jordi Alba. But yeah, I'm still quite surprised at how bad Inter Miami have done in this series. But of course they have so many dangerous players who can make a difference. Here's Alba now, as I burp mid-sentence. Apologies for that. Oh, that's a good ball into Messi, who didn't actually score in the original derby. And Miller does well there to get the ball off him. It goes right back to Lionel Messi though. And Miller for the second time with a really good interception. They're seeing a lot of the ball at the moment, Inter Miami. I'm actually finding it quite hard to intercept them. Oh, but then, just as I say that, Riley does well to win that. Can he play in Cristiano Ronaldo? Yes, he can. Looking for his third goal in a Miami derby in this series, and he gets it! Just before the half-hour mark, we take the lead for the very first time against our arch-enemy. And who else but Cristiano Ronaldo to score it? 27 MLS goals this season. He has been absolutely fantastic. I thought for a second maybe we gone a little bit too close to the keeper, but of course we hadn't. It's Cristiano Ronaldo, and in that position, there's only going to be one end result. Inter looking to get a relatively quick equaliser here. I literally have not been able to get the ball off them since going 1-0 up. Miller does really well again. I tell you what, the size difference between him and Messi is absolutely crazy. And it's making a big difference so far in this game. Miller having a very, very good performance. Zendaya is now looking to play on Ronaldo. Is he onside? Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes, he is. I tried to run the keeper. Maybe tried to be a little bit too clever. I tell you what, that would have been a fantastic goal if we'd scored it. Miller gets yellow carded. Sorry, I'm trying to work out what he got booked for. Must have been something off the ball. Okay, he took out Messi. Fair enough. I was wondering. I was like, I don't remember him making a foul. But yeah, to be fair, that probably was a yellow card. Can we get this second goal before half-time? Ronaldo around the back post for Figueroa. Just couldn't get the shot off. And there's going to be no added time. Kind of surprising. No, that's the first time I've actually seen that in this game for quite some time. But we do have the lead here going into the halftime break. I would love nothing more than to add at least 2 or 3 more goals, keep a clean sheet, and really stamp our mark here in Miami by getting the first victory in any Miami derby of this series so far. Oh, that's a good ball towards Suarez. Oh my God, Celentano. Why didn't he pick it up initially? I'd love to know the answer to that. It landed right at the feet of Lionel Messi, but thankfully we just about get away with that one. There's been no clear-cut opportunity in this half so far. Inter Miami have seen most of the ball. Here's Messi. Have I just jinxed myself? Yes, I have, because there is a clear-cut opportunity here, and unfortunately, it's an equaliser for the opposition. That is so bloody frustrating. Let me guess, first goal of the season. Okay, at least it's his third goal of the season. How many times has a player scored against us and it's been their first bloody goal of the season? And they are back on level terms. We gave them far too much space. Lewis, maybe he could have done a little bit better there. But look, we just have to regroup now and try and get back in front. Morgan. Oh, Ronaldo's in. That's a good ball. What a tackle. Ronaldo still has it though. And for the second time in this series, he scores a brace against Inter Miami. He's already approaching 30 goals this season in just 21 appearances. They weren't level for long, Inter. I thought for a second the keeper was going to come out and collect it. It was initially, I thought, a good tackle from the defender, but Ronaldo slots it into the bottom corner and we are back in front here. Looking to get the third and potentially killing goal here. And what better player to get the killer goal than this man right here, Dexter Morgan? Oh my god, he's completely missed the target. Oh my bloody god. At least test the goalkeeper, Dexter. Bloody hell. Oh, Hwang into Arzu, fresh off the bench, squares it for Bailey, and surely now we will be winning our first derby of the series. 3-1, 10 minutes to go. It's Bailey's first goal of the season. I could have swore he had at least one or two. He's been a really good option off the bench. He really has. And literally, with his first touch of the ball, he surely gets the winner here for us against Inter Miami. Inter Miami looking to get one last opportunity here. It'll only be a consolation though. We've played the 2 minutes of stoppage time. Let's stop them from getting it though. I think 3-1 is a fair reflection of the game. I don't think 3-2 would be. But here's Messi. Oh, he's done really well. And Suarez has somehow missed that. Oh my goodness me. It was basically an open goal. And he could not have put it further away from the target. But the first victory in a Miami derby does go to Real. I tell you what, in the last series we turned Merseyside blue, and in this series, at this moment in time, we can safely say that Miami is indeed blue as well. And despite getting the victory over Inter Miami, that deal for Larry Jackson has gone through. So I'm telling you lads, I'm going to have to keep an eye on Inter Miami's squad, because now the fact that they've stolen two of our players, I think it's time we steal a player from them pretty soon. Okay, so because Luka Modric only has 6 months remaining on his contract, it means I actually can't sign him in this first season on a permanent deal, if that makes sense. At least I can't use him this season is what I should say. But I am able to get him on a pre-contract signing. So you know what? Let's go in and seal the deal here with Luka Modric. Of course, he's going to be a crucial first team player. He's probably only going to want a 1-year deal. And we're only going to be doing one more season at most. So I have no problem giving him that. He's happy out. Disregard the release clause. His wage, yeah, let's give him basically what he's on. And to sweeten the deal, we'll give 100k up front. And Luka Modric will be joining Real Miami in Season 2. But keep in mind, if we win the MLS Cup this season, there may not be a Season 2. So this is depending on how we get on for the rest of this season. And since we're not able to bring Luka Modric to the club until next season, that is if we do a Season 2, I did want to go in for another centre midfielder that we can use here in this first campaign. And with the limited resources we had, because there was other positions I wanted to improve in as well, I have decided to go for another free agent. As I said, I don't want to take the piss with free agents too much, but I felt like this one made sense because of our current circumstances. Marcel Ruiz, the Mexican centre midfielder, has joined us on a free transfer here. 78 rated. He can play centre midfield and attacking midfielder, which is really handy. He can even play CDM as well if we ever decide to play with those. He has actually gone down in his value. He was worth 24 million, I should say, when we signed him. And for some reason, he's dropped down to 21.5 million. But we won't worry about that. He's a very handy pickup, and I'm very excited to use him in this team. Riley and Miller have been a decent centre-back pairing for the most part in this series. But the big problem I have is that neither one of them is very quick. Of course, Miller is a big presence at the back at 6'7", and Riley's decent, but again, he's just a bit too slow. So I've decided to go in for this Argentine centre-back, Damian Fernandez. We signed him for 4.1 million, 72 rated. He's actually one rating lower than Riley, but as you can see there on the right-hand side, he has 83 pace. So I think that's going to make a massive, massive difference for us anytime we have him in the team. And the final signing, at least for now, in this summer transfer window was for a new backup left back. Of course, Roman went to Al Nassr at the start of this transfer window, and we've brought in his replacement backup left back here from the Chinese league. Xin-Chi Chan, 69 rated player from Hong Kong. We actually swapped our Canadian midfielder Smith plus $1.3 million, I believe it was, to bring in this very versatile player. Not only can he play left back, but also centre back and left midfield. And as you can see there, just like Fernandez, he's got quite decent pace as well. So yeah, very, very happy with this addition to the team as well. And not only have we done transfer business here in this episode, we've also decided to send our youth scouts out once again. We've sent our first one out to Jamaica, looking for a centre-back, centre midfielder, winger and striker. I'd love to get some more Caribbean talent into this team, so hopefully that will be a successful scouting mission out there. Then we've sent our second scout out to Cuba, looking for a full-back, striker and winger. So again, hopefully we'll get some decent talent from there. And then last but not least, we've sent the third scout out to Fiji. It's such a shame that there aren't many Polynesian countries that you can scout in FIFA, but in Fiji, the Lau Islands are very strongly Polynesian, so we're going to be looking for a centre-back and a defensive-minded centre midfielder from there, and hopefully get some more talent from that part of the world into this squad. We've already gotten one victory in a derby in this episode. Now let's get another one here as we travel to Orlando to take on Orlando City. I have decided to give Fernandez and Ruiz their debuts in this game. I mean, Ruiz was brought in to be a starter anyway, but even though Fernandez might only be a backup for now, I did want to see what he was all about here in quite a tough game. Orlando City are only one place behind us there in second. Of course, this is the second time we've played them in this series. We did beat them at the Brahma Bowl by 3-2, so hopefully we can do the double over them here and extend our lead at the top of the table. Oh, that's a good interception by Figueroa. Dexter Morgan, can he get his first goal of the episode? Oh my god! How has he not hit the target from there? Bloody hell. Something tells me Dexter was out all night last night. Oh, because he has looked really off the pace in this game so far. I mean, what else would he be doing? I mean, he did look pretty tired. He looked like he'd been through quite a struggle, so I'd love to know what he was up to last night, or maybe I'm better off not knowing. Oh, but he's done really, really well to get into a good position there, but he's not done well in putting the ball in the back of the net. Here he is again, though, Morgan. Into Ronaldo, who's not had a quiet episode by any stretch of the imaginations, and Diaz into Morgan, and somehow the keeper has kept that one out. Oh my god. How are we not winning this game? We've comfortably been the better team. Oh, but 10 minutes or just under 10 minutes to go before half time, and it's still a stalemate here in Orlando. Here's Lewis, the left back. Oh, for a second, I thought that was going to drop into the net there. Keeper makes the save. Look at the bloody size of Brandao, our 6'8" backup goalkeeper. I will have to give him a game at some stage. I did bring him off the bench in one of the early games for like the last 10 minutes or so, and he didn't really have anything to do, but he is an absolute man mountain there next to the rock. He makes the rock look like a bloody pebble. That's a good ball in there. Ronaldo can't win the header. Zendejas has the shot, but Orlando deal with it. And that is the end of this first half. 0-0 here. We have been the better team. We really should be winning this game by at least a couple of goals. Dexter Morgan should have had a brace, but still, it's all level here in this Florida derby going into the second half. Oh, and here come Orlando now with their first big opportunity of the game. And wouldn't you just know it, they bloody take the lead here. 5 minutes into the second half. They did sweet F all in the first half. And Angulo, I think is how you say that guy's name, scores his 10th goal of the season. And it gives Orlando the lead here in this Florida derby. Not a great introduction for Fernandez. Bloody hell, he was supposed to be a quick centre-back. And I tell you what, he wasn't quick enough to stop that chance from happening. Can we get a quick equaliser here? Ronaldo. No, we can't. Here's Fernandez again, though. He did do quite well to win back this ball, and that's a good ball out to Wood as well. Listen, it's his first game. I don't want to be too harsh on the lad. Oh, and here's Morgan, who still can't put the ball in the back of the net. What is going on with you, Dexter? You need to think, Dexter. You need to think. If you understand that reference, then me and you are best friends. Here's Miller. Oh, the big centre-back wins the header, but hits the bar. And somehow Zendejas can't put it in the back of the net either. Oh my god, are we heading for defeat here? Our first ever defeat against a fellow Florida team. I can't even speak at the moment. Oh, we get a corner here. Come on. Let's whip in this ball. Let's get this equaliser. Miller again. No, can't win the header. Ruiz into Wood. Good turn there by Wood. And a decent strike, but once again the keeper keeps it out. He's wearing the captain's armband, and I tell you what, he's putting in a captain's performance. Dexter's turn to whip in a corner now. Miller does win the header and somehow has put it wide of the post. I thought it might have taken a deflection at first, but no, he was the only player who got any type of touch on it. And we still trail by 1-0 with just 20 minutes to go. There's Vicinho now off the bench. Into Morgan. Bailey, who came on for the very tired Wood. Ronaldo does get the equaliser. Pick up that ball. I know we have quite a decent gap on Orlando at the top of the table, but I want to extend that as much as I can. And again, I know obviously in the MLS Cup is more what we're playing for. The Supporters' Shield would be nice, but really it's the MLS Cup that I want here. But it would be pretty cool to finish on top of the Eastern Conference in our very first season. So yeah, I'm really going to be aiming to do that here. And victories like this one, if we are potentially to get it, will go a long way in finishing on top of the table. Oh, Bailey's done well there. Ruiz. Oh, he's offside. 3 minutes left. Orlando have the ball here now with Ojeda. They haven't created much apart from that goal. But because I've said that now, they're probably going to go and get the winner. Vicinho does well to intercept that. 3 added minutes. Can we get a late winner here? Morgan out to Bailey. Can he play in Ronaldo? He can. Ronaldo, with a minute to go, has gotten the winner here. Sue, yet again, 30 goals for the season. Oh, and what a big one this could be. Even the substitutes that aren't involved are going over celebrating. I thought for a second he was about to get closed down. Bailey did really well to find him. Somehow he's gotten that through the legs of the defender, I think, as he megs them, kind of. Keeper couldn't get there after having a fantastic performance. And we have stolen the victory here right at the end. I did say in the last episode that I would be speeding this series up a bit by simming more games and showing the highlights of more games as well. So for the final 3 games in July, I'm actually going to quick sim all of them. This was always supposed to be a short series, lads, so please don't take it too bad if I am simming a few more games from here on out. We take a trip to Philadelphia, one of my favourite cities in the world, and hopefully we might be able to get the 3 points here. They are bottom of the Eastern Conference at the moment, and Dexter Morgan has made up for a very poor episode so far by scoring a brace here in Philly. We followed up that away victory against Philadelphia with the home victory here against Chicago Fire. Wood, Cristiano Ronaldo and Dexter Morgan all on the score sheet. So look, it's good to see that Dexter Morgan is doing well in the simmed games, because I won't lie, in the games we played in this episode, he was really frustrating. We started out this episode with a victory over New England Revolution. Can we now wrap up the episode with a victory in the reverse fixture? Yes, we can. Cristiano Ronaldo and Christian Wood with the 2 goals to give us the victory here. And that wraps up a very successful episode. And that means at the end of the episode, we are 25 games into the MLS season and we are 8 points clear at the top of the Eastern Conference. The most goals scored. I think we have the 3rd best defence in the league as I look down the table here. Yeah, I think we do. Nashville have the best, then Orlando City, and then ourselves. Where are Inter Miami at the moment? They are down in 10th position. Now, to be fair, they do have 2 games in hand, but that's still absolutely crazy. They've conceded the same amount of goals as we have, but they've scored quite a few less. Atlanta have dropped down quite a bit. Why did I think 12th place was bottom of the table? I'm a bloody idiot. I don't know why I thought 12th was bottom of the table. Obviously, 15th is bottom of the table. Okay, somebody's probably already corrected me. When we played New York City, they actually weren't bottom of the league. For some reason, I had in my head it was 12 teams and not 15. That was a brain fart on my part. But yeah, Toronto FC, things are not looking very good for them. 1 win out of 25 games. 7 points on the table. Yeah, I bet they're happy there's no relegation in the MLS. Let's have a quick look over at the Western Conference. It's quite close there. Seattle Sounders and LAFC both on 48 points, although the Sounders do have a game in hand. LA Galaxy up there. Portland Timbers doing well. Vancouver not doing too bad. San Jose Earthquakes are bottom of the table, but it's a lot closer here than it is in the Eastern Conference, which I'm quite happy with because that means we are doing quite well. We've got a very big gap at the top of the table, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how the rest of this season goes. But lads, that will do it for this episode of the Real Miami Career Mode. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy it, please do hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel as well. We are on the road to 800 subscribers. I would love to hit that before the end of this series, and I will talk to you all on Wednesday for the next episode. Take care.